There's something special about a Reese's egg. It's not just the shape, it's the mix. Soft peanut butter, a thin layer of chocolate, and the way it all melts just right. For some people, Easter isn't complete without a few hidden in the freezer. For others, it's the best kind of Reese's you can get. Reese's eggs first came out in the late 1960s. They were made as a fun Easter version of the regular peanut butter cup, but they quickly became a favorite, so popular that people talk about them online, hunt for them in stores, and even try to sell them after they're gone. Today, Reese's makes over 400 million of these eggs every year just for Easter. That's more than one for every person in the US. You'll see them by the checkout, in Easter baskets, or saved away for later like little gold bars. So what makes them so good? What goes on inside the factory to make them taste smoother, softer, and somehow better? Let's take a look inside the Reese's Easter factory, where egg-shaped molds, chocolate machines, and huge peanut butter mixers work together to make one of the most loved treats in candy history. It all starts on farms, mainly in warm, humid areas of the southeastern US, like Georgia, Alabama, Florida, and Mississippi. These states grow runner peanuts, the type Hershey uses for Reese's. These peanuts are chosen because they have a consistent size and a rich, nutty flavor that goes well with chocolate. Farmers plant peanuts in the spring when the weather is warm, and after about 140 to 150 days, they're ready to harvest in the fall. The whole plant is pulled from the ground and flipped upside down to let the peanuts dry in the sun for a few days. After that, machines separate the peanuts from the pods, making sure only the best peanuts move on to the next step. Once harvested, the peanuts are sent to processing plants in large quantities, where they are carefully checked for size and quality. Peanuts that don't meet the standards are thrown away or used for things like animal feed. The good peanuts are shelled and roasted in big ovens. Roasting helps bring out the flavor and reduces moisture, which is important because too much moisture can cause the peanuts to spoil. Drying them out makes the peanuts last longer and helps keep the candy fresh. After roasting, the peanuts are cooled to avoid overcooking and checked for quality. Only the best peanuts move on to be made into Reese's peanut butter. While the peanuts are sourced locally, the chocolate ingredients travel farther. The cocoa beans used in Hershey's chocolate mainly come from West Africa, especially from countries like Ghana and Côte d'Ivoire, where the climate is perfect for growing cocoa. These areas have rich soil and stable weather, allowing cocoa trees to thrive. Farmers harvest the cocoa pods by hand using machetes, cutting them carefully from the trees. After harvesting, the beans are removed from the pods and fermented in large piles or boxes for several days. This fermentation helps develop the strong flavors that give chocolate its taste. Once fermented, the beans are dried in the sun for up to a week. After drying, they're packed up and shipped to the US, where they are processed into cocoa liquor, the main ingredient for making chocolate. Once the cocoa beans arrive at Hershey's processing plants, they're cleaned to remove any dirt or debris. After that, the beans are roasted to bring out a stronger flavor and the rich chocolate smell. The roasted beans are cracked open and ground into cocoa nibs, which are then turned into cocoa liquor. This cocoa liquor forms the base of Hershey's milk chocolate and is mixed with other ingredients. Hershey combines the cocoa liquor with cocoa butter, which comes from the same beans, sugar, and powdered milk to make the smooth, creamy chocolate that Reese's fans love. Sometimes, soy lecithin is added to help the ingredients mix well and keep the texture smooth. The chocolate blend is carefully tested and adjusted to make sure it has the right taste that people expect from Reese's products. The milk used in Hershey's chocolate comes from dairy farms across the United States. Hershey makes sure the milk is fresh and high quality by setting strict standards for its suppliers. The milk is pasteurized and processed before being added to the chocolate mix. The whole process, from getting the milk to mixing it with cocoa, is designed to create a product that's the same every time, even when made in large amounts. All the ingredients, peanuts, cocoa, milk, and sugar, are stored in special tanks and silos that keep them at the right temperature until they're ready to be made into Reese's eggs. This careful attention to detail ensures every Reese's egg tastes just as good as the last one. Once the peanuts arrive at the candy plant, they go through a second roasting process in special machines that control heat and airflow. This step is important because it enhances the peanut flavor and makes sure every batch tastes the same, no matter when it's made. The peanuts are roasted at controlled temperatures, bringing out their natural flavor without burning them. This process also removes any leftover moisture, which helps the peanut butter's texture and keeps it stable. This careful roasting is key to making sure every peanut is just right for the candy's signature taste. After roasting, the peanuts are ground into a thick paste using strong grinders. Unlike the smooth peanut butter you spread on toast, the peanut butter for Reese's is intentionally kept a little dry and gritty. This helps it stay in shape inside the chocolate shell and gives Reese's the texture fans love. By not fully blending the peanut paste, Hershey makes sure the filling is thick enough to stay firm during production. The paste still has some peanut chunks, which adds texture and boosts the flavor, making each bite even more enjoyable. Once the peanuts are ground into paste, it's mixed with other ingredients to make the final peanut butter filling. These include salt to bring out the flavor, powdered sugar for sweetness and to balance the salt, and hydrogenated vegetable oil to keep the peanut butter soft and prevent it from drying out. The oil also helps the filling stay consistent as it moves through production, making it easier to mold and coat with chocolate. The sugar and oil are carefully mixed to get the right texture, not too runny or too thick. The factory uses tools to check the peanut butter's density, moisture, and texture to make sure it meets Hershey's standards. If the mixture isn't just right, it can affect the candy's quality, so constant testing makes sure the peanut butter filling is always perfect. When the peanut butter filling is ready, it's moved into large tanks that feed directly into the molding lines. These tanks keep a steady flow of filling to the production lines, making everything run smoothly. The peanut butter is then placed into egg-shaped molds using automated nozzles that put the right amount of filling in each mold. The process is quick, with hundreds of molds moving through the line every minute. However, each mold gets the same amount of filling, making sure they are all the same size and shape. Hershey's workers carefully watch the temperature, pressure, and humidity to avoid air bubbles or any flaws in the filling. They adjust the room temperature to keep the peanut butter just right for molding and control the air pressure and humidity to keep the filling consistent. After the peanut butter is placed into the molds, the filled molds move through a cooling tunnel where the temperature is slowly lowered. This gradual cooling helps the peanut butter set and firm up so it keeps its shape as it moves on to the next step. The cooling tunnel ensures that the filling hardens evenly without cracking or shrinking, which could cause problems later. Although it seems simple, this step is very sensitive. Even small changes in ingredient amounts, pump pressure, or the environment can affect the peanut butter. That's why Hershey's workers are always checking for any issues with the shape or texture, making sure only perfectly formed centers continue down the line. Any that aren't right are sent back for reprocessing, ensuring each Reese's egg meets the brand's high standards. The chocolate used to coat the eggs is kept melted in large, heated tanks at a steady temperature, usually around 110 degrees Fahrenheit, 43 degrees Celsius. This helps the chocolate flow smoothly and cover the candy evenly. The chocolate is then pumped to enrobing machines, where the peanut butter centers move down a conveyor belt and pass under a curtain of liquid chocolate. This covers the top, sides, and bottom of each egg at once. The process is carefully controlled. Too much chocolate makes the shell too thick, while too little means it won't seal properly, which can affect the candy's look and taste. After the enrobing process, each egg moves onto a vibrating belt that shakes off extra chocolate and smooths out any uneven spots. The vibrations help the egg keep a uniform shape and stop too much chocolate from building up at the bottom. The coated eggs then go into a refrigerated tunnel that's about the length of a semi-truck. The cooling tunnel slowly lowers the temperature, hardening the chocolate without cracking or warping it. This step makes sure the shell stays firm but still melts easily in your mouth when you eat it. During this stage, quality control is always checking. Visual scanners look for misshapen eggs, coating issues, or anything that might affect how the candy looks. Some lines even use infrared or X-ray machines to find problems inside the chocolate. If there are any issues like air bubbles, cracks, or misaligned centers, the egg is removed from the line. These rejected eggs aren't wasted. They're either recycled into the process or used for animal feed, depending on the factory rules. This helps reduce waste and keeps things running smoothly while making sure the candy stays high quality. The chocolate used for coating is specially made for the enrobing process. It's a bit thicker than regular chocolate to form a protective shell, but not so thick that it hides the peanut butter inside. It also needs to harden quickly during cooling while keeping a shiny finish. This is done by carefully tempering the chocolate and sometimes adding small amounts of emulsifiers like lecithin. The result is a smooth, shiny shell that protects the peanut butter and helps keep the candy fresh until it's eaten, making sure each bite is just as good as the last. This stage of coating is all about getting the heat, timing, and checks just right to create the classic Reese's egg with a smooth, shiny shell and the perfect mix of chocolate and peanut butter. It's what makes Reese's eggs such a favorite treat for so many. Once the eggs are fully coated and cooled, they go through fast wrapping machines. These machines take foil from big rolls, cut it to the right size, and wrap it tightly around each egg. The foil protects the candy from light, air, and moisture to keep it fresh. The bright orange and yellow foil also makes Reese's eggs easy to spot on store shelves, which helps boost seasonal sales. Wrapping happens very quickly, up to 300 eggs per minute. Sensors check each egg's position to make sure the foil is centered and tight. If an egg is too warm or misshapen, it might tear the foil or wrap wrong. So both machines and workers keep track of temperature and alignment. Any eggs that are wrapped badly are taken off the line and either fixed or recycled. This careful checking makes sure every egg that goes to the store looks neat and attractive. After wrapping, the eggs are sorted into packaging lines. Some are put in small plastic trays unboxed for individual sale, while others go into larger seasonal displays for stores. These displays are often decorated with bunnies, flowers, or pastel colors, and are designed to fit well in special store spots like checkout areas. The packaging process is mostly automated, but workers still check the quality and do the final packing. Shipping is carefully planned too. Since Reese's eggs are a seasonal item with a short sales window, production starts months ahead to make sure stores are stocked by February. Once boxed and stacked on pallets, the eggs are sent to distribution centers and then shipped to stores across the country. Temperature-controlled trucks are used to prevent melting, especially in warmer areas. By Easter weekend, most stores have sold out, and any leftover eggs are sold at a discount after the holiday. Reese's eggs have remained so popular over the years because they combine two beloved flavors, peanut butter and chocolate, into a simple yet irresistible treat. The seasonal shape adds to the fun, making them a special treat that people look forward to each year. The consistency in taste and quality, thanks to Hershey's efficient production process, ensures that each Reese's egg tastes just as good as the last. What's kept Reese's eggs popular is their perfect balance of flavor and texture, along with their strong association with Easter celebrations. As one of the top-selling seasonal candies, they've built a loyal following and continue to be a go-to for candy lovers. Hershey's ability to maintain high production standards while meeting massive demand has allowed Reese's eggs to stay a favorite year after year, solidifying their place in candy history. It's spread on toast, poured on pancakes, and eaten straight from the jar. Nutella is a favorite all over the world, with its smooth chocolate hazelnut taste showing up in breakfasts and desserts. across more than 160 countries. But it all started in Italy after World War II, when a baker named Pietro Ferrero mixed hazelnuts with cocoa to make chocolate last longer. That simple idea grew quickly, and today Ferrero makes over 400 million kilos of Nutella every year. That's one jar sold every 2.5 seconds. To keep up with so much demand, Nutella is made in large factories across Europe, North America, and other parts of the world. Ingredients like hazelnuts from Turkey, cocoa from Africa, and milk from Europe are brought in, mixed by machines, and packed into jars at high speed. So how do they make that many jars, that fast? Behind every scoop is a busy system most people never get to see, until now. Nutella is made from 6 main ingredients: hazelnuts, cocoa, sugar, palm oil, milk powder, and vanillin. While the list is simple, getting these ingredients is a complex process. Ferrero, the company behind Nutella, runs one of the biggest food supply chains in the world to meet demand. They make over 400 million kilograms of Nutella each year, so having a steady supply of ingredients is very important. Ferrero doesn't just rely on suppliers, they build long-term relationships with farmers and producers to make sure the quality stays the same. Every part of the process, from growing to shipping, is carefully tracked. Hazelnuts make up about 13% of Nutella. Most come from Turkey, and Ferrero buys around 25% of the global supply. Hazelnuts are harvested once a year, from August to September. Timing is important because if they're not dried quickly, mold can form. Farmers use machines and nets to collect them, especially in hard-to-reach areas. To manage risk and control supply, Ferrero also owns hazelnut farms in Chile, Australia, and the US, which helps with traceability and meeting environmental goals. Cocoa gives Nutella its rich chocolate flavor and mostly comes from West African countries like Ivory Coast and Ghana. The cocoa beans are harvested from pods, fermented under banana leaves, and then sun-dried to reduce moisture. After drying, they're bagged and shipped to Ferrero's factories, where they're roasted and ground into cocoa mass. Since cocoa flavor can vary by region, Ferrero blends beans from different areas to keep the taste the same in every jar. Ferrero also works with local groups and programs to improve farming practices, reduce child labor, and support sustainability in cocoa growing areas. The other key ingredients come from different sources. Sugar can be made from either sugar beets or sugarcane, depending on the region. In Europe, sugar beets are used because they grow well in cooler climates, while cane sugar comes from tropical countries like Brazil and India. Palm oil, which gives Nutella its smooth texture and long shelf life, mainly comes from Malaysia and Indonesia, but only from farms certified by the Round Table on Sustainable Palm Oil, RSPO. Milk is used in powdered form, which helps keep it fresh and makes it easier to transport. It's made by drying fresh milk to remove the water while keeping the nutrients. Finally, vanillin, used in small amounts for aroma, is usually synthetic to ensure a steady supply without affecting natural vanilla crops. All ingredients are carefully checked before entering the factory to ensure a smooth production process. Before any ingredient is added to the mixing tanks, it has to pass many quality checks. Each Nutella factory has labs, sensors, and automated systems that check things like texture, taste, temperature, moisture, and safety. These systems run all day and night to make sure every jar meets the same high standards, no matter where it's made. On average, thousands of tests are done each day across the factories. If anything isn't right, it's rejected and never used. These strict checks are why Nutella tastes and feels the same everywhere. Hazelnuts go through very detailed inspections. Since they're a sensitive ingredient, they're tested for mold, size, oil content, and how well they roast. Workers take samples from each shipment and test for aflatoxins, harmful toxins that can form if nuts aren't stored properly. These toxins can't be seen, so Ferrero uses special tests to detect even small amounts. Hazelnuts that are too wet are dried in controlled spaces to prevent spoilage. Once they pass the tests, they're stored in cool, dry silos to keep them fresh and protect their flavor until they're ready for roasting and grinding. The other ingredients are also carefully tested. Milk powder is checked for bacteria, taste, color, and fat content. Samples are heated to look for clumps or bad smells. Cocoa powder is tested for flavor strength, pH level, and color to make sure there's no bitterness or acidity that could change the taste. Palm oil is further refined to remove smells and color, making it stay smooth and neutral in the spread. Even vanillin, which is used in small amounts, is tested for purity and how well it dissolves. Ferrero uses digital tracking to follow every ingredient from supplier to jar. This way, if there's an issue, they can find the exact shipment or batch and fix it quickly, either by adjusting production or removing the affected stock. It's a well-managed system that keeps millions of jars safe and reliable each year. Once the ingredients pass all the quality tests, production can start. The first step is roasting the hazelnuts, which is key to getting the nutty flavor. Large rotating ovens are used for this. The hazelnuts tumble gently inside while hot air circulates. The heat softens the nuts and brings out their natural sweetness and flavor. The roasting time and temperature are carefully controlled since they can change based on the size, moisture, and freshness of the nuts. It's important not to burn the nuts, so the ovens are adjusted to make sure the flavor develops without becoming bitter. After roasting, the hazelnuts are quickly cooled to keep the flavor and prevent over-roasting. Then they move on to grinding. In this step, the hazelnuts are crushed by large rollers or fast-spinning blades, breaking them into tiny pieces. The friction from grinding releases the natural oils in the nuts, turning them into a smooth paste. This hazelnut paste is key to Nutella's creamy texture. The fine grinding ensures the paste is perfectly smooth, with no chunks, making it easy to spread. While the hazelnuts are being ground, the cocoa beans are either processed in another part of the factory or brought in as pre-ground cocoa powder. If the factory processes its own cocoa, the beans are roasted in large machines that break them into nibs. These nibs are then ground into a paste called chocolate liquor. No alcohol, just pure cocoa. This chocolate liquor is mixed with other ingredients like milk powder and sugar, then combined with the hazelnut paste. The result is a smooth chocolate hazelnut blend that will become Nutella. This step is important because grinding the hazelnuts and cocoa gives Nutella its smooth texture and rich taste, making it stand out from other chocolate spreads. The mixing stage is where all the ingredients come together to create Nutella. At this point, the hazelnut paste, cocoa, milk powder, sugar, and palm oil are combined in large mixers. These mixers are designed to work at specific speeds and temperatures to make sure Nutella has the right smooth texture. Some mixers use paddles to gently stir, while others have vacuum pumps to remove air bubbles. The vacuum is important because it helps prevent air pockets, which could make the texture grainy. The goal is a smooth, even spread from the first spoonful to the last. The order in which the ingredients are added is important for the right consistency. First, dry ingredients like cocoa and sugar are mixed to make sure they dissolve well. This helps the cocoa release its rich chocolate flavor and the sugar spread evenly. After the dry ingredients are mixed in, the hazelnut paste and milk powder are added to create the creamy base of Nutella. Finally, palm oil is added last, and it's warmed slightly to blend smoothly. The mixture is blended for 20 to 30 minutes, with sensors controlling the temperature and thickness. This helps ensure every batch has the same smooth texture and taste. After mixing, the blend goes through a homogenizer. This machine uses high pressure to break down any lumps or uneven bits, making the spread perfectly smooth. Homogenization also helps keep the oils evenly mixed, so there's no oil separation. Once it's through, Nutella is thick, creamy, and smooth, ready to spread. It's still warm, which makes it easy to fill jars. Before packaging, each batch is tested again to ensure it's consistent and tastes just right. Only when it passes these checks is Nutella ready to be packed. Once the Nutella is ready, it's pumped into jars. The warm, creamy spread travels through stainless steel pipes to automated filling lines. These machines quickly and efficiently fill, seal, and label each jar, while workers monitor the process from control rooms. Since the Nutella is still warm, it flows easily into the jars without leaving air pockets or streaks, making sure each jar is filled evenly. Before Nutella is added, the jars, whether glass or plastic, are cleaned to make sure they're free from any dirt. Once clean, the jars are placed under filling nozzles that are set to dispense the right amount of Nutella, usually between 200 and 750 grams. Sensors along the production line check the fill levels and remove any jars that are overfilled or underfilled. After the Nutella is added, the jars are sealed with an aluminum foil lid to keep air and moisture out, and plastic screw-on caps are tightly added to seal the jar without damaging it. Once sealed, each jar is labeled with important details like batch codes, expiration dates, and product info for safety and tracking. After labeling, the jars are packed into cardboard boxes and stacked onto pallets, which are shrink-wrapped for stability during shipping. Ferrero factories can produce over 1 million jars of Nutella a day at full capacity. To keep things running smoothly, machines are cleaned regularly, and production lines are checked to avoid delays. Every step of the process is designed for speed and accuracy, making sure Nutella reaches shelves fresh. Once the jars are packed, they're sent to distribution centers, either locally or overseas. Ferrero has factories in places like Italy, Germany, France, Canada, Brazil, and Australia, so Nutella is often made close to where it's sold. This helps reduce shipping time and keeps the product fresher. Nutella is transported by truck, ship, or train, depending on how far it needs to go. Some factories are near ports or rail lines to make shipping easier. At distribution centers, the pallets are stored for a short time before being sent to stores, wholesalers, or online retailers. Big retailers place regular orders, and Ferrero uses software to make sure each location gets the right amount without overstocking. Since Nutella doesn't need refrigeration, it's easy to store and transport. Each jar lasts about 12 months, and the mix of sugar, palm oil, and low water content keeps it from spoiling. The whole process from mixing to store shelves can take just a couple of weeks. When Nutella arrives at the store, it's placed on shelves for customers to buy. Ferrero works closely with retailers and uses sales data to predict demand, making sure there's always enough stock. Careful planning and tracking throughout the distribution process help keep Nutella fresh, available, and tasty wherever it's sold. Nutella is loved for its creamy, sweet taste of hazelnuts and cocoa, which is easy to enjoy and always recognizable. While the idea is simple, it has been perfected over time. Unlike other spreads, Nutella has kept the same recipe for years, giving people a consistent experience with every jar. Whether on toast, in pancakes, desserts, or eaten with a spoon, Nutella has become part of daily life for many. It's a comfort food that brings a sense of familiarity to busy routines. And its connection to personal memories is why Nutella remains a favorite across generations. What keeps Nutella going is the large system behind the scenes that ensures quality, freshness, and availability. Ferrero has created a well-organized network of farms, suppliers, and factories that all follow strict standards, no matter where they are. Every batch of hazelnuts is tested for moisture, oil content, and flavor. Cocoa and milk powders are checked for purity, and each ingredient is tracked from source to shelf. The factories use advanced equipment to mix and fill jars, keeping things consistent from batch to batch. Arizona iced tea started in 1992 as a simple idea: big cans, bold flavors, and a low price. The 23-ounce can with the 99-cent label quickly stood out, and more than 30 years later, it's still one of the best-selling iced tea brands in the US. Arizona now sells over 1 billion cans each year. The process starts with real brewed tea, made in large tanks using black or green tea leaves. After brewing, The tea is cooled and mixed with sugar, fruit flavor, or honey, depending on the recipe. Once ready, the liquid moves into filling lines where machines can can thousands of drinks every minute. Arizona runs large bottling plants across the U.S., built for speed and volume. Every can is filled, sealed, and labeled in seconds before being packed and shipped out to stores across the country. It's a fast-moving system built to handle high demand. And it all comes together to keep that same can at that same price on shelves year after year. Arizona iced tea starts by picking the best tea leaves to make sure the product is high quality from the start. The tea leaves come from carefully chosen farms around the world, including places known for great tea like China, India, Sri Lanka, and Kenya. Arizona focuses on selecting the best leaves, usually black or green tea, each with its own unique taste. Black tea has a bold, strong flavor, while green tea is lighter and more delicate, perfect for those who want a refreshing drink. By choosing top-quality tea leaves, Arizona ensures every batch is flavorful and reliable. Arizona also adds natural ingredients to improve the flavor. They use sweeteners like cane sugar, honey, or agave syrup, depending on the type of tea. These ingredients come from farms that follow sustainable and ethical practices, making sure the products are not only high quality, but also responsibly produced. Arizona cares about the environment and supports farms that use eco-friendly methods, like saving water and using fewer pesticides. By choosing the right sweeteners and flavors, Arizona creates a product that tastes great and is good for the planet. Citrus fruits are an important part of many of Arizona's iced teas, adding a fresh, tangy flavor that balances sweetness and acidity. Arizona gets its citrus fruits from places like California, where the climate is perfect for growing the best flavors. The lemon and orange flavors give the teas a bright and crisp taste. These fruits are picked at the right time to make sure they're fresh and full of flavor, adding the perfect touch to the tea. Arizona carefully plans the sourcing process to give customers a top-quality product. By focusing on the best ingredients, Arizona makes sure their tea is always flavorful, natural, and refreshing. Every ingredient is chosen to create a balanced and tasty drink that appeals to many different tastes. Arizona's dedication to high-quality ingredients means every batch of iced tea meets their standards, making each sip enjoyable. This attention to detail in choosing ingredients is why Arizona remains popular and trusted for quality. After the tea leaves are sourced, the next step is extracting the full flavor. Arizona uses a cold brewing method, which is gentler than hot brewing. This helps keep the tea's smooth taste by preserving the delicate flavors in the leaves. By soaking the tea leaves in cold water for several hours, the flavor is slowly released, avoiding any bitterness. While this process takes more time, it creates a cleaner, smoother taste that's typical of Arizona iced tea. This slow brewing also helps ensure the flavor stays consistent in every batch. Cold brewing also helps keep the natural antioxidants in the tea leaves, which are good for health. Antioxidants like catechins and polyphenols can lose their benefits if exposed to heat, but cold brewing preserves them. This method also helps the tea stay fresh and vibrant, which is important for Arizona's refreshing iced teas. The goal is to make a tea that's not too bitter or harsh, but just the right flavor that works well with the sweeteners and other ingredients. This slow and careful brewing process gives Arizona iced tea an edge over other brands that use faster, hotter methods. High heat brewing can make the tea taste bitter or harsh, but cold brewing keeps it smooth and mild. The slower process brings out the tea's natural flavors, giving it a balanced taste that matches the refreshing qualities Arizona is known for. This is one of the main reasons Arizona stands out in the iced tea market. After brewing, the tea goes through a filtration process to remove any loose leaves or particles, giving it a clean and smooth look. This step is important for making sure the final product has a polished texture without any unwanted bits. The result is a strong tea base that will be mixed with other ingredients to make the final drink. The careful handling during this process helps Arizona's iced tea keep its fresh, high-quality taste in every sip. This attention to detail in brewing is a key part of Arizona's success and lasting popularity, ensuring the flavor stays consistent for iced tea fans everywhere. After the tea is brewed and filtered, it moves to the mixing stage, where extra flavors are added to create the different varieties Arizona is famous for. Arizona offers many iced tea flavors like peach, lemon, raspberry, and Arnold Palmer. During mixing, experts combine the brewed tea with natural sweeteners, fruits, herbs, and other flavorings. The goal is to make sure every batch tastes consistent and meets the brand's high standards. Sweeteners are an important part of the mixing stage, and Arizona uses different ones depending on the flavor. Cane sugar is used in most of the classic iced teas, while honey or agave syrup is added to some of the more natural or health-focused drinks. By carefully controlling the sweetness, Arizona makes sure the tea tastes great without being too sugary. This step is important because finding the right balance is key to making a drink that's both refreshing and enjoyable. Arizona makes sure that all ingredients used in the mixing process are top quality. Whether it's real lemon juice or pure fruit concentrates, everything is carefully chosen to meet high standards. By mixing the ingredients with the right measurements, Arizona ensures that their iced tea tastes the same in every bottle and can. This careful process makes sure that each flavor always meets customer expectations with every sip. After the tea is mixed, it goes through pasteurization to keep it safe and fresh. Pasteurization heats the tea to a certain temperature to kill harmful bacteria without affecting its flavor. Arizona uses a gentler pasteurization method than other drinks, which helps keep the tea's taste and smell intact while making sure it's safe to drink. The temperature and time are carefully controlled to preserve the tea's quality during this step. Pasteurization helps Arizona keep its iced tea fresh for longer without using artificial preservatives, preserving its natural quality. It also ensures the tea stays fresh, so customers can enjoy the crisp taste for weeks after it's made. Once pasteurization is done, the tea is quickly cooled to stop any changes in flavor or texture. This fast cooling is key to keeping the fresh taste Arizona is known for. Pasteurization makes the tea safe to drink and helps Arizona keep its iced tea consistent. It ensures that every batch tastes the same, has the same quality, and lasts as long, no matter when or where it's sold. This controlled process allows Arizona to deliver a product that customers can count on every time. After pasteurization, the tea is ready to be bottled or canned. Arizona iced tea uses an accurate filling process to make sure each container gets the right amount of tea. High-speed machines fill thousands of bottles or cans every hour, keeping things efficient while maintaining quality. These machines have sensors that check the amount of tea and make sure containers are filled correctly. After being filled, the containers are sealed right away to keep them safe. Arizona uses strong aluminum cans and PET plastic bottles that protect the iced tea from light, air, and moisture, which can harm the flavor and freshness. Sealing is done in clean conditions to avoid any problems during storage or shipping. The sealing process helps keep the tea fresh until it reaches the customer. Once the containers are sealed, they are labeled with important details like ingredients, nutrition facts, and expiration dates. The labeling is done automatically, making sure each can or bottle is clearly marked and easy to read. With advanced labeling machines, Arizona ensures that every product meets quality and safety standards, so consumers can easily see what they're buying. Before the iced tea is sent out, it goes through a thorough quality check to make sure it meets Arizona's high standards. The first step is tasting the tea to ensure the flavor is consistent. Professionals taste each batch to confirm it matches the expected taste. The company also tests to make sure the tea isn't too sweet or too bitter, aiming for the perfect balance of flavor every time. The quality control process also includes checking the packaging for any defects, like dents in cans or cracks in bottles, which could affect the tea. Metal detectors are used to find any foreign particles that might have gotten into the tea during production. Arizona makes sure every container is free of defects and meets high standards before it leaves the factory. Arizona also tests the iced tea in a lab to make sure it's safe to drink. Random samples are sent for testing to check for any harmful bacteria or germs. By combining taste tests, visual checks, and lab tests, Arizona makes sure every bottle or can of iced tea is safe, high quality, and ready for sale. Once the iced tea passes quality checks, it's ready for packaging. Arizona uses different packaging types, like multi-packs of cans, single cans, and large bottles, depending on where it's sold. The brand's bright, colorful design is printed on every container to make it easy to spot on store shelves. These eye-catching labels help Arizona stand out in the crowded iced tea market. To keep the iced tea fresh, the containers are sealed with tight caps and lids to keep out air and moisture. Sometimes, nitrogen is used to replace the oxygen inside the packaging, which helps keep the flavor and freshness. The tea is then packed into boxes or trays for easy transport. The whole packaging process is automated, letting Arizona quickly and efficiently package large amounts of iced tea for shipping. Once packaged, the products are stacked on pallets, wrapped for protection, and labeled for delivery. Arizona makes sure each package is handled carefully to prevent damage during transport. The company uses both machines and people to check that everything is safely prepared for shipping. Whether it's going to a local store or a big retailer, Arizona ensures every container is in perfect condition when it gets to the shelf.